You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. It's going to be an interesting one. It's a miracle that we're even on. So, okay, if we don't hear some music or whatever on the radio, if it just sounds like something's going, there's something that's at a low volume or whatever, it's just because we had to scramble this morning to get our studio up and running. Our iPad that we use to broadcast just didn't have any power, and so the power wasn't working on it, and I had to get an old iPad that I was surprised it would even work. I was getting ready to text that we weren't going to have a show today. And then I said, well, let's just try the old iPad. So then I had to upload all kinds of material to have the show be able to run on this old iPad, and it's actually working so far. The battery is going down quite fast, so we may have a truncated show today, but it's almost like we're in the basement. We're in a secret location. We're doing this show, and it might not be able to have a full show. So anyways, it's all duct taped together. It's a miracle it's even happening. But we are live on CKLU 96.7 FM, live on CKLU.ca, streaming as far as I know, if everything is working. And we are, you can also download the Radio Player Canada app, take us with you, and listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. We're also streaming, as far as I know, on YouTube and Facebook at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Getting off to a little bit of a late start, about 5 minutes late, just due to this technical issue having here. And we're losing about 1% per every 2 minutes, it looks like. So it's really eating up the battery. So anyways, we'll have a show. We'll have as much of a show as we possibly can. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Billy's here, so that's good. How you doing, Billy?
Good morning. I feel pressure to speak fast today.
Yeah, we're going to speak really fast. Try to get as much in as we possibly can, and we're going to have a really good show. And so hopefully everyone's going to comment, but mainly like, share, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. And but comment. And just as we have each and every day, we have our wonderful community of people joining us. Monique, good morning. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. Judy, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Nathan, I believe. No. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to get this, and I have to get now another thing going on. Just to get everybody's names in here, I have to call up another device and have comments coming in here on the big screen. And I know, let's see here. All right. And Narashin, sorry about that. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good morning. And Denise as well. And Steven is here. Pirate Radio. That's exactly what it feels like. And Belinda, good morning. Together we can make a difference. I'm glad you made it. Thank you very much. And 2% more gone. Good morning, Mona. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a great morning. We'll have as much of a show as we possibly can today. And there's just something about doing a show like this where it's like, it's a miracle that we're even on. But good morning, David. Stay safe as usual. We have a few people on, and we're glad to have you. And let's dive right in. We'll talk a little bit about the weather, a little bit of sports, and we'll try and get as many headlines, your comments in as possible before the power goes out. We promise it'll be a good one. We'll be back right after this with some weather. And your Sudbury weather is brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, let's see here, just because we're, this is interesting here. Okay, we're going to do that again, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to do this. So I'm on a different switcher today, so everything is kind of all over the place. Sudbury weather, currently it is 8 degrees, and it is partly cloudy, sunny today, increasing cloudiness near noon, then 40% chance of showers. Boo. And risk of a thunderstorm on top of that. Not cool. 20 kilometers wind, and high of 23 though, and the UV index will be 7 or high. Tonight, partly cloudy with 40% chance of showers this evening and after midnight. Becoming clear overnight, risk of a thunderstorm again late in the evening. So this afternoon and in the evening, there's a risk of a thunderstorm. Friday, sunny early in the morning, then a mix of sun and cloud with a 30% chance of showers in the afternoon. The wind will be regular 20 kilometers. High of 23, UV index 7 or high. Long range again, 30% chance of showers. Tomorrow, high of 23, as we said. High of 19 on Saturday, mix of sun and cloud. High of 20 on Sunday, mix of sun and cloud as well. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 30% chance of showers. 21, 16, and 13 are your temperatures for those days. I wish we had better news for the long-range forecast, more sun, but it is what it is, and that's your Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports right after this. So unfortunately, the Sudbury Five played last night. Not that it was unfortunate that they played, but it was unfortunate the outcome. They ended up losing 116-106 to the Windsor Express. Game 3 of that series. The Windsor Express are now up 2-1 in that series. We need to win. I think the game is going forward, you said, Billy, on Friday in Windsor?
That's what I saw, yeah.
Okay, Friday in Windsor. That would be tomorrow night. If they don't win, they are out of the playoffs. If they win, they force a Game 5 back in Sudbury. Make sure to root on your Sudbury Five as much as you can. Use as much hope power that you can to... and if you want to go down, you can go down and cheer them on down at the game if you're one of those fans. Paint your face and all that stuff. Support your Sudbury Five and go Five, go. Force a Game 5, get them back here, and then the crowd can really pump them up, and hopefully we can get into the next series against the London Lightning. It would be a sad ending to the season, Billy, because they did so well. They were in first place for a good chunk of the season, and just something at the end there, just they kind of lost a little bit of gas.
I'm not too sure. Some injuries, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, exactly. So hopefully we're able to pull it off. Game goes ahead tomorrow. 7 o'clock, you can catch the game. You go to the5.ca, and they have a way that you can watch it online. That's your Sudbury Sports, brought to you by sudburysports.com. We'll be back with headlines right after this. And here you go. We'll be we're back with some news headlines here. Let's see. I just don't know where everything is these days. And oh, there we go. That's what happened last time. Okay, news headlines. We already started off with Sudbury 5. Got a few more people shout out here. Good morning, Shane. Thanks for being with us. Got a few technical difficulties. The battery's running down on our backup here, so we're hoping to get through the show. We may not have the battery power to do that, but if not, then we'll just sign off a little bit early, and we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Monique, good morning, everyone. Danica, good morning. Thanks for being with us. And Vin, good morning. Thanks for being with us today. Good morning, everyone. Headlines here. This is interesting. A spike in the unpaid rent for Greater Sudbury Housing blamed on provincial backlog. So the Landlord and Tenant Board backlog has been blamed for Greater Sudbury's Housing Corporation's bad debts, jumping from, get this, $169,000 in 2021 to last year being over $500,000. $585,000.
You understand what's going on there? Can you break that down?
So people that are renting off of in Sudbury housing, geared to income housing, Sudbury has, our
Oh, okay. So they're the ones that technically kind of own the buildings.
yeah, like we as a city, the Sudbury Housing Corporation, Greater Sudbury Housing Corporation, we own the housing, and then we try to offer that to people at a lesser rate to help those that can't afford market value rents. And so now there were people that were delinquent on their rent. $169,000 was the amount in 2021. Now it says bad debts, but that's delinquent rent as far as I'm concerned. And then now it's almost $600,000. So over three times, almost four times the amount increase. Now they say it's because of the backlog at the landlord-tenant board, but I tend to think it's because, remember in the pandemic, they were telling people, if you can't afford your rent and to not pay it. Do you remember that?
Yeah. We probably all know people who have stories of like really nightmare situations of either people trying to, get their former tenants out.
Yes.
And I think that's...
And increase the rent.
Could be a carryover. And again, I can't understand how people are paying, the level of rent that we have these days, with a fairly decent job. It's pretty tough if you're, and not everyone's got one of those.
No, not everybody has a decent job for sure. And again, there are people in need, and there's a need for an organization like Sudbury Housing with geared to income rent. And but I do remember pandemic when money was an issue. People were kind of told to stay home, and they were like, well, how can we afford to pay our rent? They were like, you know what? If you don't have the money to pay your rent, don't worry, just stay home. And I remember thinking that, man, if I was a landlord, I'd be friggin' flipping after politicians telling people, don't worry, you don't have to pay your rent. And this is one of the outcomes here, right there. Maybe we'll have time for this if the battery lasts long enough. China working to get Canadians at each other's throats. This is Sudbury.com, which I was really surprised that they had a story with a headline like this. Usually they're not as, I don't know what the word is. They're usually just pro-government talking points. I don't know. That's just what I've seen, but it just seems to be, this is what I've been saying all along. China working to get Canadians at each other's throats. Interference researcher. So Dave Salvo says the Alliance for Securing Democracy has been mapping and cataloging Russian and Chinese interference since 2000. And now that could be our deep dive today, depending on the battery power. Due to, there's been a huge, very organized effort from outside influences to come in and influence our elections and influence just our country's laws and where this country is going in general. And it's great to have organizations such as this, Alliance for Securing Democracy, to be watchdogs. And it's interesting that our current Prime Minister said he didn't have too much knowledge on what was going on here. Meanwhile, just organizations like this seem to know, and our Secret Service. And I remember hearing it in the news before the pandemic that the CSIS came out and said they're really worried about the amount of foreign interference. And Prime Minister said, I didn't know. Meanwhile, part of his foundation is also under scrutiny at the exact same time for donations from the exact same people who are being accused of the infiltration. So you have to ask yourself what's going on here, or at least if you were a reporter, you would do this. And so I'm grateful that the Sudbury.com published this story. Belinda says, could the delinquent debt be an indicator that people can't afford fuel and groceries and utilities? Well, yeah, that also would factor into it, I believe, as well, like Billy was alluding to. Again, this is part of it, part of our deep dive if we have time today. China's regime, a multi-headed hydra, muscling into our democracy. It's nothing new. It's not unique, and it's not just something that happens in federal politics. So this is something that's been going on for a long time. There's a concerted effort from people at high levels of different governments, outside governments, trying to infiltrate and put their whatever their ideology is into trying to change the way our country functions. Let's see here. Belinda again. Trudeau has accomplished that all on his own. I've never seen a prime minister that has caused as much division and on every level possible. Part of the agenda, Monique says, for sure. Again, we're hopefully we'll be able to get into this because the headline itself does kind of provoke exactly what we've been talking about on this show as a type of war tactic, if you will. Instead of using guns and bombs and whatever, again, the headline says it all: China working to get Canadians to be at each other's throats. And you could have seen all of the division over the last few years. And if you were an outside influence and you were to, a country divided against itself, like if you were its enemy, wouldn't you want to have a country just kind of eat itself away from the inside internally and you not even have to do anything or spend any money? Really, war is a lot more expensive than maybe paying off some politicians or influencing. Am I right on that or am I off on that?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to put the positive kind of spin on this because in reality, this has been going on for probably about 1 million years or so.
I think so. It's not
this
new.
is how,
it's how
this is how the world, and of course, even in the West, we've been aware of our governments. That's just kind of been.
Oh yeah,
that's
you're right,
just normal.
for sure.
We just go out and you select the politicians we want in power over in these countries.
For sure.
And I think where I think maybe we're doing a jump in evolution, because the whole concept that we're typically not denying the existence of this is in the wrong direction. So the fact, I think, that people are aware that this is a reality, and to be alert for it and to watch out for it, because I think there's probably no stopping it, because again, China's they don't have the position to put up military bases, so you got to figure in their war room they're going to come up with some kind of countermeasure to it. So
and it also seems like Belinda said, like we've seen some evidence of this, that it's the first time our people have been at war with our own government, kind of thing. And this is globally as well. So you see this, a lot of the people are protesting their governments and their policies and things, and there seems to be things going on. But I really appreciate what you had said, because I know the United States in particular, which I really value their values and their government and their constitution and the way they, a lot of things about them have been, though, bad on the United States for going into other countries and blatantly, like this is just kind of covertly in the background going on. They just will go and bomb the heck out of somebody and institute a new leader. They do things like that, but they also do the secret stuff too. CIA's been known to do all kinds of crap and meddling in other countries' sovereignty for years and years and years and years. So it's and we've probably been involved to some extent as well. I don't know any specifics on that though, but I do know about the United States at length on their nefarious dealings around the world. So I guess we're getting a little bit of our own medicine back.
Yeah, but the important thing is we can sort of talk about it, and it's nice that it's in the Overton window now that the media is talking about it, because there's a lot of those topics where it's like, oh, you can't say that, and if you say that, they'll throw all these nasty labels on you, and so you basically just got to stand back and not partake in society and let it happen, or get stuck with those labels.
Gotta love those nasty labels. Anyways, so labels work though in the media and public perception. If you can give someone a nasty label and then get others to repeat it and whatever, it's then, everyone discounts what you say after that nasty label. Speaking of good labels though, Crusoe monarch honored for 66 years of serving the community. An award's given to Ophelia Morassutti for giving out will be given out to volunteers who exemplify her spirit. So an award in her name will be given out to volunteers going forward here in the community. I love the Crusoe Club. I love just that whole, whenever there's an event at the Crusoe Club, I look forward to it. I love their food, first of all. And I just think it's a gathering place. Whenever I see it, I just think it's a really cool concept. I know it's not, specific to the Crusoe Club. There's others in other cities and whatever. Even if within our own city we have similar ones, but it's just, you're going to go there. There's going to be food. There's going to be, a good time. There's the space for everybody, plenty of parking, and it's a gathering place. Everyone can come together and have a good time. I don't know how many good events I've been to at the Crusoe Club. It's just a really great thing for Sudbury over the years.
Mm-hmm. Famous for the food too.
Oh yeah. They have a buffet there, right?
Mm-hmm. I've been a couple times.
Me too. And I keep saying I gotta get back sooner than later. Let's see here. Convicted sex offender from Hanmer facing fresh sex charges. Douglas Short. He's now 77. Pleaded guilty in Sudbury court, but fell ill and was. I hate it when the sub headline isn't. There's not enough of it to read, especially when your battery's almost at 50% on your device. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Douglas Short has pleaded guilty to Sudbury court but fell ill and was taken to hospital instead. Okay, well, it is what it is. And for more, you can just click on that story on our Facebook page. We've shared it. It was from Sudbury Star. Sudbury Star also, Polyev accuses government of contributing to addiction crisis with drug strategy. And again, there's been some really weird policies coming through from our federal government since they've been in that it's just, you got to kind of wonder what's going on. So first of all, we legalized marijuana. Okay. I agree with that too. People spending a lot of time in jail just because they had some marijuana on them. I don't agree with that either. Legalize it. Okay. But now they're legalizing cocaine and other drugs in BC. And it just started the idea of legalizing drugs. So once you start with one, you can legalize another. And where do you think that's all going to end? You know what I'm saying? Like, just making it easier for people to do and legalizing it. I don't know. So Polyev obviously is against it.